This is my 1959 Corvette gasser. This was my dad's car. He bought this car in 1964 when he was 18 years old for $1,000. When I was 5 years old, my dad promised me this car when I turned 18 that this car would be mine. Well, that was 20 years ago. Now I'm 39 and it finally came home. Currently it has an old Corvette 350 in it. A late 70s Corvette 350 that's bone stock. When my dad restored this car back in 1983, this was a 78 motor. Basically it came out of a wreck or something and it barely had any miles on it. So it 20 years later, or 30 years later, it still doesn't have any miles on it. It has disc brakes now, new master cylinder, 4 disc brakes with a little extension piece on the back side of it, because you know that C1s, the master cylinder recesses into the firewall, and it needs that little extension piece to push it out far enough to get the master cylinder mounted. Right underneath it is the master cylinder for the hydraulic clutch. When my dad restored this in '83, he put an automatic in it. I'm changing it back to a 5-speed manual Tremec TKO 600 5-speed. Right next to it, because it's a gasser, I'm going with the fender well headers, and you can see where they're gonna sit. But the problem I'm facing is that the steering, the way the steering is located, I have to go over the headers down to the steering box. Now there's quite a bit of room inside here, except when it comes to where the power steering is going to be located. If you can see right here, the marks on the core support, I have to cut that out for the power steering box. I'm using a power steering box out of a SS Monte Carlo. It's a quick ratio power steering box. Then I'm going to go with the cross steer. Now on Bel Airs, you can go underneath the headers. Unfortunately, I can't do that, so I got to mount the power steering box way out front, and this is all the metal I have to cut out. I'm going to reinforce the front cross member, but I have to go over the top of the power steering box, back down to hit this support, and over or under the water outlet for the radiator on this side.